All right, we are here. Episode of who God knows what number, 19 maybe,
17,
seven.
18.
This is Performance Academy podcast with Zach Rowe,
And your boy Josh.
and we are back at it again, staying on track. Um, boy howdy, it's been rough lately. I was just talking about Josh before we
You're talking
start.
about me?
No, I was talking to you about prior to start recording. About fitness related stuff. So you can go first.
I'm still doing the same old stuff. I was kind of had a less than optimal last 2 weeks just because I had some allergies. Worse last week and a little bit this week. But it kind of makes me like throw up sometimes in the morning or like dry heave.
For
So
allergies?
yeah, like I get mucus and it runs down the back of my throat. And
Ugh.
it kind of like especially like in the morning, it's kind of like hardened almost. Seems like from like just sleeping or whatever.
Yeah.
And so if I elevate my head at night, it gets a little bit better. But needless to say, so yeah, then it causes me to like, especially when I exercise, to like kind of like dry heave or throw up. Like throw up sometimes. Last Monday after jujitsu, I pulled over and I had to throw up.
Damn.
It's just like water and a little bit of mucus. So between that and then also the pool that I was using was also closed down, so I just wasn't getting as much working
Oh
out and
yeah.
swimming the
The
last 2 weeks.
McCormick.
Yeah. So,
That was for the whole month, right?
no, it's actually only like 2.5 weeks. It's pretty quick
Oh.
turnaround.
What
So,
were they doing to it?
I don't even know. I think something to do with plumbing or piping or some. I guess that's
Mm.
plumbing, but
Yeah.
that's what I think I heard. Yeah. So, but I've been doing more running, I guess. So it ebbs and flows. I'm feeling good. Just really sore right now.
What are you allergic to that makes that happen?
Huh?
What do you?
Changing the seasons.
Just like pollen or whatever.
I guess so. And it's weird because I only got started getting it like 4 years ago or something like that. It was out of nowhere.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just super annoying. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
interesting.
that's pretty much it. I guess you could say.
All right. Um. Yeah, for me,
This
where
is
did
episode 18, by the way.
18? I said 18, right?
You said 19 at first.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, um, man, I don't remember what was the last time we did this. It was after my triathlon. So yeah, I mean, I took kind of like a week to, well, honestly, it's been really chill. So ever since my triathlon, I thought I was gonna take a week off and kind of get back on, but it's not like I'm not working out, but it's just kind of a struggle to fit them in because I've just had so much fucking stuff going on, and I just don't feel super motivated to get after it like I usually do, and just a lot of stress with school finishing up here soon and just trying to get everything done. But I've just been like my basketball league started on Mondays, so I do that Mondays. We started the season off 2-0. I had a big 6 points the first game and big 4 points the second game, so that's lit. Uh, I can dunk pretty consistently now.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is surprising because I really haven't been working towards like more like power and like jumping ability. And I mean, God knows how long. I just been doing just cardio mainly, and then like any kind of lifting I do, it's more for hypertrophy. So I was really surprised. I'm like, I used to be able to dunk like, I get like one out of like every three or something. Now I can do it pretty much every time. So I'm pretty surprised by that. So I'm trying to hit a dunk in the game.
Kind of seems like, especially since like your training doesn't lend itself to like power output. It's like
Yeah,
kind of the
no.
opposite end of the
Yeah.
spectrum.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I'm,
maybe just like as a whole, like you're becoming like more athletic. Like
yeah,
you're still coming up on your most prime athletic years of your life,
for
anyways.
sure. And
So
I'm lighter now too. I haven't actually weighed myself in a good minute, but the last time I did, I was like 163. Um, so yeah. So I'm lighter, so that helps, I guess. Less weight to push when I go up. But yeah, I do that Mondays. That's fun. It feels like things are getting back to normal. Like there's still people kind of like wearing masks, or whatever. But
yeah,
pretty much once you get in that bag gym, you can just take a mask off and no one's gonna fucking bitch at you or anything. So that's pretty cool. Getting back to doing that. And yeah, just cycling every once in a while, lifting every once in a while. I need to kind of get. It's really tough because I have these next 2 weeks of school, so it's gonna be kind of challenging to get everything. But I have the new job with the health coach, which I have a couple crazy ass stories of that. Oh my god, that job's so insane. I have that, and then I have some other possible opportunities coming up. So I don't know. It's kind of just all over the place right now. Need to wrangle it in. But the big thing that I've changed and I've been really focusing on is the diet mainly. I think I talked about last time I'm doing keto, and
That's right. You're still on it,
I've
huh?
really only fucked up once. One night I was over at that girl's house that I've been talking to recently, and I got home really late, and I was just so hungry, and I was like, fuck it. So ate a bunch of um like off-brand uh what are those corn like curly corn chips? Fritos, like off-brand Fritos. They're like more like the healthy ones,
Uh-huh.
from Trader Joe's or whatever. And I just like slammed a bunch of those. So that was like the one day I fucked off. But other than that,
How's that? Yeah, how's that been going?
dude, frankly,
Are you like a month into it now or something?
no, I'm like a little over 2 weeks into it.
Oh,
Yeah, a little over 2 weeks
so
into
you
it.
must have just
Um,
started when we did the last podcast.
yeah, just started. Um, and I'd like to shoot for 5 to 6 weeks, but my friend, she's gonna be having a party bus going out to this winery literally the day after my last day of school ever when I
Hmm.
graduate. So it's gonna be. I don't give a flying fuck about my diet. I'm getting blasted that day. It's the fourth and my last day. The next day is the fifth,
Oh
Saturday.
no!
I'm getting fucking blasted. I don't care.
Oh no!
Um, so that's gonna take up to basically like 4 weeks or a little over 4 weeks. So I'm not gonna be able to see it out as far as I like to, but whatever. But frankly, it kind of fucking sucked, really. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just I don't know how people do this for extended periods of time to lose weight. I'm dying over here, bro. Like it's so restrictive and it's so hard, and I don't feel better. I feel shittier. Like how people talk about like the cognitive benefits of keto, like you kind of gotta get past those first couple of days, like they say the keto flu or whatever, and then you have more mental clarity and your brain's using the ketones or whatever to burn for energy instead of
Yeah.
carbohydrates, and you have more of a consistent um, flow of energy or whatever, as opposed to the spikes where you're eating a lot of carbs. And just cognitively, I don't feel like I'm like there 100%. And like I've said, I've been dragging with my working out, and I don't like feel like I really want to train. So I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? You know? And
Yeah.
like the physiological benefits of it, like the mitochondrial density and uh, insulin sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. I just like you can't really see it, and like I don't feel it in my workouts, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bitch,
I mean,
but
at this point, you might as well just see it out. So like
yeah,
a few
yeah. I'm
more
just gonna
weeks of
keep
it.
doing it, but the only good thing I've really come out of this is eating waffles. I think I brought it up last time today.
You did
The cheese
mention
and
that.
egg waffles, those are so fucking lit. So I'm gonna really miss those once I go back, but then I could just go back to eating French toast, and I'll be fine with that. French toast is good too. Um, so yeah, like it's cool when you get to eat the foods because like the food's really good. I eat like a lot of eggs and bacon and sausage and cheese and lots of different kinds of nuts like cashews and macadamia nuts and beef jerky for snacks and whatever. That's like and Greek yogurt. That's like pretty much all the foods I've been eating. So I don't know how people do it, dude. It's kind of brutal, but nonetheless, that's it with me in that regard. So, cool. We'll just move on to the next thing. Let me bring up my notes here. Did you want to talk about that thing right
I'm
now?
just still kind of going through it. It's just kind of crazy, like how much like these little descriptions of each one of the topics like is me like a T almost.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we'll just talk about this now. So, right, currently, like I said, I only have like 2 more weeks of school. My last class is a 3-week accelerated course, KIN 469, fitness management. You've already taken it. I'm taking it right now. And one of the projects that you have to do is read this book, Strengths Based Leadership. And I recommend this to basically anyone, not even just in fitness related, but anything, anyone in like leadership type positions or wants to be there because it's really good resource for that. But if you buy the book new, it comes with a code. You might just be able to buy the code.
Yeah,
Maybe, I
I'm
don't
sure
know.
you can do
But
that.
it's Clifton's strengths, and then the research part. I think Gallup is the
Yeah.
researcher. They've done this. I think it was like over 30 something years, where they reached out to like I don't know hundreds, maybe even thousands of people. I can't remember exactly, and just kind of followed them through 30 years, and just kind of saw where they developed to, and they had them take these these surveys, see what type of leadership qualities they have, and the main guy I think Clifton is his name. Actually, they named it after him. I'm pretty sure. Um, what he kind of determined was that there's no one characteristic or group of characteristics that leads to someone being a successful leader in any type of facet. And they narrowed it down to these 34, I believe, characteristics, and then narrowed those down into four different domains or themes, I guess. And the four themes are executing, influencing, relationship, and strategic thinking. So executing is just like as the name entails, someone that kind of just like gets shit done and like does that. I don't know if we have like the different characteristics for each. I think I pulled it up. Uh, I think I have it right here. Okay, well I'll do strategic thinking because I have it right here. Oh no, it's a sliding. Never mind. Oh yeah, here we go. Executing. So different characteristics of executing is like achiever, arranger, belief, consistency, which is actually one of mine. Deliberative, discipline, focus, responsibility, restorative. So these are just different kind of characteristics of someone with the executing. So when I was going through these, it made me think of my time at the Y and like who kind of filled into like these different things. And I'd say Ricky is definitely one of these types, like an executor. I
Getting
bet.
stuff done type thing.
Yeah, I bet if he took this, he would fall into this kind of stuff, like an arranger, consistency. Whenever he was there, like he's the one he like made shit happen. Like he was there from the beginning when that remodel had just happened, and he built up the personal training program to what it was. He started the fit zone and made that whole room what it was, and then he passed it off to kind of Irby and Joe, who then fucked it, and then I took over before COVID hit. But so yeah, that's the executing, and then the next was influencing, and this is like a activator, command, communication, competition, maximizer, self assurance, so on. Um, yeah, just like someone like the authoritative type. He wasn't exactly a leader at the Y, but I think it's someone like kind of Brent, you know,
For which one?
for the influencing.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, he has like that very like personable, talk to the person type of.
Yeah, you could maybe even say the relationship building for him, maybe. But I immediately thought of someone like Brent. Um, so that's how like that type of person leads, And the third one was relationship building, and this was like adaptability, connectedness, empathy, harmony, includer, all these kind of different things. I thought, who do you think of the Y
For which one?
for relationship building?
For relationship building?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, come on. Obviously Lauren.
Oh yeah, for sure, Lauren. I didn't think about that, but like, I immediately thought of Joe.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely that kind of personable type. But yeah, Lauren's definitely one of those type of people too. And then the last one, which both you and me fell into, was the strategic thinking. Maybe that's why we get along a lot.
Probably.
But analytical.
Because everyone else being so dumb just pisses us off.
Yeah, we just look at it much more objectively. It's like analytical, context, futuristic, ideation. I don't know. Input, intellection, learner, strategic. So yeah, 4 out of my 5, and same for you, right? 4 out of 5 were in the
Oh yeah,
strategic
four out
thing.
of five were in strategic thinking.
Both of ours, and we had an overlap in context and analytical, I think. So,
Context and intellection.
oh, intellection, my
What
bad.
was your other two that were in that group?
Analytical and futuristic.
Futuristic, huh? Is
Yeah.
that just trying what's coming around
Uh,
the
ins-
corner type thing?
yeah. People exceptionally
Visionary
talented
type?
in futuristic theme are inspired by the future and what could be. Like I said, was saying before we started recording, what could be. They energize others with their visions of the future. I was like, dude, that's 100% me.
Nice.
I'm just always kind of looking at how to improve things. And before we started recording, I think I said this too. Is um, yeah, what the idea of what could be is all ever focused on when I was at the Y and growing all different programs that I was associated with, like personal training, Super Kids, Fit Zone. When like now, if you think about it, I don't want to shit on Irby. He'll never hear this, so we can just talk about it. But do you see Irby falling into like any of these really? You know,
Um,
because I was just thinking about it, like all the other leaders, kind of at the Y, I could see them falling into like different categories, but I just don't feel like I just don't really see any of these traits in him necessarily. You know, like he wasn't an executor. Like he never really like he wasn't a leader. He was a manager. And
yeah,
I've talked because this was another thing. Did I just go on?
yeah,
Oh, okay. This is something I talked about with Miles. Is he was never really a very good leader. He just managed people well.
yeah,
And this is like one of the concepts they talk about in the book. I don't really see any of these kind of concepts in him, and that's why I don't. Ultimately, I feel like this is like maybe why he doesn't really have a job now. To be honest, because like when you just manage people, you're not a leader and you don't have all these different things to supply to something. It's like well, there's no people there anymore. So it's like who is he there to
yeah.
manage?
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's a good point.
There's no there like there was like a handful of personal trainers, and the ones that were there, their business was extremely small, and then they fired all the wellness coaches up until recently. I think almost all of them except for Aaron have come back. Um, yeah, but like you didn't have anyone to manage, and you weren't much of a leader in any other aspect. So it's like what do we do?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah. That's a good point.
So I just thought all this was very interesting,
Yeah, no,
and
I really like this whole thing too.
yeah, and it makes me think because like eventually I want to kind of own my own business and go towards that path and be a leader like that. So I was like, what the book really emphasized was like people always try and fill in the cracks of what they struggle and lack in, when really you should work towards your strengths, and fill in the rest of the things that you lack in your leadership around you. So I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Have people
yeah, it's true.
have people because I think back like to the were you there when Amelia was there? Yeah, right.
No, he just left.
You just left. Okay.
Yeah,
So I think about like Emilio was kind of like the head boss guy, right? I think about who he filled in around him to kind of fulfill all these different things. He was very personable. I would say he was more of like a influence type of person. He was very good at that kind of stuff. But like the relationship building, he had like Joe, and for like the executing, he had Ricky upstairs, and maybe probably more of the strategic thinking and whatnot was what's his face that went to Orange County? Fuck, I can't remember his name. But he was more of like the day to day kind of things and making things work and that kind of stuff. And Emilio he was more of like the influence type people because he would always be there with the suits. Whenever he was
hmm
there, he wasn't a day to day guy. He was there like with the suits, kind of showing people around. He's like schmoozing that kind of thing. So I could see how like the ecosystem was working, and then I realized once what's his face came in, Mario, he was a big micromanager, and I couldn't really tell you where he fell into here because I don't know him that well. But when he came in and he replaced, because Ricky really wasn't there as top guy for a while or for very long, and but when he came in, it just threw everything off, and like people didn't really know exactly.
yeah, the ecosystem.
Yeah, it threw it all out of whack, and then obviously COVID hit. But anyways, If you're not familiar with, we should probably move on to something else because you don't know the the why. You're like, who the fuck are all these people?
Yeah.
But whatever. Um, but yeah, it makes me think. So yeah, I'll kind of go into the next thing. Is I want to really focus on possibly getting my own like location, and it just seems very overwhelming and like a lot to do. But recently, are you familiar with the Nextdoor app?
Yeah. What? Yeah. What is? Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like people that live in the neighborhood and it's like a fucking
Freelancing.
Facebook or
Oh.
no, it's not freelance. It's like it's like a Facebook or like Instagram, but just for your immediate community. And people just post all kinds of random stuff up there. It could just be like news related stuff or like hey, I'm looking for a babysitter or whatever, or like different kind of
Mm-hmm.
things. And there was this one personal trainer lady, Marianne. She lives in the area, and she has like a pretty much exclusively online personal training business for seniors and specifically more senior women. And
Mm-hmm.
she kind of kills it with that. And she does one-on-one stuff, but also does group exercise all online. And so my mom showed me, and I was like, okay, let me like reach out. And I don't really like doing online stuff all that much, but I was like, maybe it's just something to fill out the schedule, and then try and build a relationship. So that's kind of what fitness is all about, building relationships. And I got talking to her. She was like, "Oh yeah, you don't sound super into the online stuff, but I have like idea of possibly doing like a Fit After 50 class in person and like trying to build that." And then that kind of got in. We talked about that, and then she was like, "Oh, I've even considered maybe opening a physical location, like a studio." She actually explicitly said, "I don't know if you're familiar with that Pavilions off of Spring and Woodruff,
Yeah.
and there's the cleaners to the left, and then the dental office to the right. In between, there's that one location, and it's been vacant for a really long time." And
I
she,
know right where that's at.
yeah, and she was talking about possibly um, expanding business into there and having like a senior specific fitness center there. I was like, that would be lit.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, I don't think you were the Y yet, but when like all the Nifty After 50s, not all of them, but a lot of them closed. Were you there at that time?
No.
So Nifty After 50 was like a pretty big um, chain, I guess, of like senior fitness centers, which a lot of them in the area, there's like three in the area, and two of them closed down. And when those schools closed down, we had a big influx of seniors coming to the Y. Um, and so when she mentioned that, I thought about that, and I was like, there's not really a lot of senior specific fitness centers in the area. Like there is the Y, but it's not. There's a lot of seniors that go there because of the Silver Sneakers program, but it's not a senior specific place. It's more of a community center, like we've talked about before. So I was like, damn, that would be maybe like a really good niche market to get into.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So you're thinking
So,
about like just like you would just work there too.
well, I want to do like probably a partnership kind of thing with her, like co-owners
Mm-hmm.
of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is how I'd like to do it.
So then you'd be teaching like group exercise classes for like.
Yeah, and I think it would be more like a private gym where it's not like a big commercial gym where you could just go in and exercise whenever. I think we'd have like specific times where there's classes going on and people come to those, and then just a one-on-one training throughout the day,
Mm-hmm.
and just do it like that. And I was thinking about it, uh, that she's obviously has a lot of experience in training seniors, and I have a decent amount just training from the Y. And then I already know a couple of senior specific trainers that would probably be interested. At first is Lauren. She works a lot with these other seniors, and I was actually talking to her recently, like about a week or so ago, and she said, "Oh yeah, training's going really good, but just coming the problem is like I want to do more, but I have to commute in between trainer or clients all the time because she
Mm-hmm.
goes to her clients. Same thing as me, and that takes up a lot of time." I was like, so she'd probably be down if you had like a one location.
Yeah.
And then also remember Elena.
Mm-hmm.
She taught a bunch of group exercise classes at the Y. She's really great. She's super amazing with seniors. But also I was thinking they kind of fill in that part of like leadership that I struggle with is the relationship building. She's another one of those type of people, Elena. We already talked about Lauren, but yeah, relationship building. And then I can just look at it more from the strategic thinking side on how to build a business up. But dude, get this! I looked into it. When I was on a bike ride the other day, and I took a picture of the thing, and I got the website and the phone number and whatever, and I got in contact with them, and I believe it's 21 square feet, 2,100 square feet, and they said it's $4 per square foot. So that's $8,400 for rent every single month. I was like, fuck. That's nut every week or every month rather.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, so I was like, that's just such a big risk,
Yeah.
you know, to
Yeah.
fucking pay it $8,000.
That's what you're risking when you're starting a business, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean, you gotta look around other places to see how that compares.
yeah, 100%. Because my mom was actually talking to me. Do you know the Huffs over on that corner that just closed recently? It's the street that turns into Ball when you go into Orange County. I forget the street. Ward? No, not Wardwell. Whatever the fuck it is. It's over. It's over like by that Goodwill, and there's like a Dollar Tree there too. But it was like 3,500 square feet or something like that. But then like $1.70 per square foot. I can't remember how much that would be. But the thing is, the location isn't as good. You know. 0.7. So that's like $6,000. So a little bit better.
Yeah. So the owner of that place, do they own like where the pavilions lot, the cleaners, the It's a Grind? They own that whole building.
Yeah, well, it's a realtor kind of business thing where they own property. And they own properties in lots of different places, but they own that whole strip and also kind of caddy corner, I guess, where that or actually both of them. There's like both other corners. There's like the
In the same parking lot, right?
yeah. There's is it an optometrist
I don't know, but
in the
there
corner?
used to be a Blockbuster in there, right? Like a long time ago.
Maybe I don't know. But there's an optometrist I think on one corner, and the other one there's like a pool supply store and like a game store
Mm-hmm.
and like a Mexican restaurant, I
So
think.
they own all those.
Yeah, I was like, they must make so much fucking money.
Yeah,
If they just make $8,000 from that one spot,
they
I
must
was
be
like,
waiting for like some sort of like chain to come in and like who has like the capital like pay that.
they must be, it must be.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it, like, what about those places that had to close down? That like the Pilates studio and then the hair cutting place, and then those are probably the two only ones that had to close for sure.
I'm sure you can find some places now, especially after like places closed down this past year, though. You
Yeah,
know, because
that just seems like so much money. It's like in a very good location right there, a lot of parking, a lot of people drive around that area.
yeah,
It's just $8,000. Like fuck,
that
bro.
does sound a little bit much. To be honest, like I don't really have much of like to base that against, but like
Yeah,
that just seems like you could do considerably better than that.
yeah. But I'm starting to think about it. But I was on the phone with the guy, and I was like, I'm out of my league here. Like, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
He was throwing out abbreviations and all kinds of shit, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying right now, but I'm gonna figure it out.
That's funny. Yeah, all the lingo and shit.
I'm taking fitness management right now. I'm gonna learn some business shit. I'm gonna come back to you in a couple weeks, and I'm gonna have my business plan.
Yeah, you gotta be ready to hit the road too for that first like ASAP.
What do you mean?
You know, because you're ready to start eating that 8,000 real quick. Like you gotta get the business up and running.
Yeah. It's just how do you like overcome that hump at first? Like, there's no way you're making $8,000 that first month, right? There's just no like
No.
you're just gonna have to fucking hang in there and just hope it picks up.
I mean, you won't probably really clear a profit.
Months.
Yeah,
That's kind of what they say though, right?
yeah,
Like,
that's typical. But you gotta be ready for that too. You know.
that would stress me out.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what I want to get to. So it's like I don't know. You just gotta eventually take that risk, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that, I have that opportunity. Well, I sort of have that opportunity, right? I mean, I guess I can do whatever I want to, but I just don't know if I'm like quite there that yet, you know? Because this lady I've been talking to, Marianne, she's much kind of, I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's been training for a minute, you know? So she's probably more in that position because she's the one that brought it up. But, you know, that could be a potential possibility. But then just a couple days ago on the Kin Fitness news page on Beachboard, this one company, this small company, they were um, what's the word? Advertising a job position. It's this training business. It's this one lady and three other trainers. And they just lost two of them, but they do again primarily older folks, but like an emphasis with neurological diseases and like Parkinson's and stuff. And I was like, fuck, that would be a really good opportunity because I haven't talked to the main lady yet, but for whatever reason, her business mentor called me and like just kind of explained what she was looking for and the situation, you know. And it's like a small business, really low key. They explain like how they're making their money and like what everyone's getting, and they said they'd even be willing to train me in kind of training Parkinson's type people. Um, but they said they want more of an investment, like you know, a year, 2 years training with them if they're going to invest the time in me. So I was like, that would be a really good opportunity to learn business related stuff, get more experience in like specific niche
Mm-hmm.
kind of people, you know. Um, so I don't know. It's just tough to know kind of what direction to take it in.
Yeah, I mean that seems like the conservatively
Yeah,
better option right
it's
now.
definitely the more conservative option.
Yeah,
I just the part that scares me the most is the business aspect of it. You know, it's just I don't really know what I'm getting into on that end.
yeah.
So
I mean, if you're thinking, I mean, especially with you thinking about moving out too, you know, like it's better to give yourself like a better shot, like with capital and like financially, and
yeah,
and while gaining experience, you know.
yeah, and they actually like they pay pretty decent for training. Like they said like starting rate would be like 29 an hour. So I was like, that's pretty decent from what I've seen out there for like you know trainers. You know,
Yeah,
it's not nearly as much of what I charge personally, but then again, like they would just be giving me clients. I wouldn't be recruiting them. You know, so I wouldn't expect to make nearly as much.
that's true.
So uh, I don't know. I I really want to take that like risk, but then again, I just don't know if I'm quite there yet. So I might just go with well, if they want to hire me, I think I might just go with it. It's called what is it called? Recreation fitness or something. But the lady that owns it, she she's very interesting. Emily Ledger. Do they have their webpage here? Yeah, Recreation Fitness. And let me go to her thing because she won kind of some business related thing. So I was like, oh shit. That's why I feel like I learned a lot. Emily was honored to be named the 2015 Women Entrepreneur of the Year by the Long Beach Chamber of Commerce Women's Business Council. Oh, okay. I thought it was like the Business Council. Okay. She is a proud alum of Leadership Long Beach Institute class. Was 2019 Henri and Mayor Robert Garcia's Long Beach Business Awards. So that's pretty legit, you know. She works with people like I said, Parkinson's, dementia, lupus, multiple sclerosis. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know. We'll see.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity. You know, if I were you, I think I'd seriously.
Yeah, thinking about maybe doing it. Cause like my own personal training business is just it's just kind of been like just kind of cruising at where it's at right now. It's not really growing.
Yeah,
It's just challenging because most growth is really from like referrals, but it's like everyone I'm training currently, I've already kind of like said like, hey, if you have anyone, like refer them, and
yeah,
so I've kind of already gone through that process, and it's just picking up new clients is hard, you know.
yeah.
I had a potential for a new client. They live kind of far, like about like 25 minutes up to 405 or something. But the lady had agreed it was for me to work with her mother, who actually has dementia. Interestingly enough, um, and we had agreed to everything. And then at the very end of the conversation, she was like, "Oh, are you vaccinated?" I was like, "Fuck." So I was like,
Really?
"Yeah." We'd like set up like price, frequency, like what she's looking for, this, that, and the other. And I was like, and then she hit me with the vaccine question at the end. I was like, no. She was like, ooh, okay. Well, we haven't had anyone come to the house that's not vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, all right, well, let's just, I was like, well, just, we can put it in. And if you don't feel comfortable or whatever, just give me a call back and we'll figure it out. And then, like, not even a week later, she was like, yeah, we're going to hold off and wait till you get vaccinated for you to do that. I'm like, God damn it.
How annoying, dude.
But the thing is, it's so frustrating because they're vaccinated, both of them,
Yeah.
her and her mom. So it's like, you're good. That's why I get fucking vaccinated.
Yeah, I know.
You know, this idea of like, you, like I need to take my medicine for your medicine to work. Like that's fucking dumb.
Dude, I hate this vaccine shit.
It's like if you don't feel comfortable and you feel like you're at risk and you don't want to get it, that's the reason you take the vaccine to mitigate that risk. Me not being vaccinated doesn't really matter, right? Because even say if I did have COVID, which I don't, you have the vaccine, and that's why you take it to protect yourself. You know,
Yeah, dude.
and it's like me having the vaccine doesn't really change anything. But it's like I'm not about to have this like heated ass argument with a potential client. It's like and create that friction. And it's like, all right, if that's really like what it is, I guess It's so frustrating.
Yeah, I'm kind of facing that dilemma a little bit because, like, for the Navy, if you don't have your vaccine, you have to go to like a 2 week quarantine. You just sit there and do nothing.
Mm.
And then I found out today too, like when you graduate boot camp and like later on whatnot, and like go on Liberty, which is just like leave on the weekends. Like they kind of like I think you gotta have like your fucking vaccine.
To leave
I mean, for
the
like yeah, in some situations, and
like the
yeah,
base or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's so
See,
bullshit.
I have a problem with that. Incentivizing different kinds of things for people to get it. It's like either you have it or you don't, and
That's it.
it is what it is. You know,
Yeah,
like giving these little like, ooh, if you get it, then you don't have to wear a mask inside anymore. You know, have you heard that thing?
yeah,
Which again, like, it's completely stupid as fuck too, because you think any kind of business is gonna have someone standing at the front door checking vaccine cards? No, like it's just like you walk in and then like either you're wearing a mask or not. They're not gonna press you on it.
last week I went to Taco Tuesday and then I had to go get some allergy medicine. I walked in with all my friends,
Yeah.
and I was kind of fumbling, put my mask on, whatever. And then my other buddy was like walking in behind me too, and then like the guy from Target was like kind of standing by the door. He's like, "Oh, sir, like you need a mask?" It's like to my buddy.
Goes on.
He wasn't wearing one. Like, he's just walking in, and he's like, "Oh no, I got mine right here." And he pulls it out of his pocket and holds it up, and he puts it back in his pocket. And kept
What?
walking.
And the guy didn't say anything.
No, my buddy's kind of like a bigger guy. Like I could see him being intimidated.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I mean, yeah, I get it. I know people that do that, and I hate having that conflict constantly. You know,
I do too.
it just gets fucking old, and they make it so hard for you to not comply. Essentially, as
Yeah.
everyone's brainwashed and thinking like this is what you need to do, even though it makes literally no sense. Like when you walk into a restaurant and you're wearing a fucking mask sitting in your line, and then you look to the like 2 feet to your right, and there's a bunch of people sitting with that mask on. It's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Are you talking about when you walk into the restaurant?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, dude. That pisses me off. So I walk in now without it, like I did when I picked up food the other day. Because I'm like, those people, no one in here. I'm not gonna fucking like when I walk through the door frame. It's not like COVID,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
Oh,
Anyways, I
it,
don't.
it just makes it like hard to live here in California. Like more and more, I keep thinking like, can I stay here forever? And it's like
100%. I feel the same way.
it's like I don't know.
Yeah,
Florida and Texas are just like in like the real America. You know,
yeah,
do what you want.
100%. It's tough out here. What are you gonna do though? You know.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's it there. I guess. Right about that. Yeah. Dude. So yeah, I just gotta tell you a couple stories about my new health coaching uh job. So first one, I had this guy. Man, I think I told you so many of the people on there are just so utterly fucked. It's just like
Yeah, you did mention it.
your life is just so miserable, and it's just like what
By their own accord, or like what?
it's just maybe the circumstance they were born in, maybe it's personal decisions through last 40, 50, 60 years of bad decisions, whatever it is.
Yeah,
You're in just an absolutely fucked position, and your life sucks,
yeah,
and you have you're obese and you have high blood pressure and whatever else, and it's just you work a shitty job that you don't care about, and it's just very unfortunate. And
yeah,
one of these guys where that was in that kind of situation, he's talking about how stressed he is, and he's got all these health issues, and he's like bitching to me about how there's like shitty drivers in his city, and like he's trying to reduce his stress, but all these drivers, blah, blah, blah. I was like, how fucking just miserable is your life? Is your life where you're sitting on the phone talking to me about how shitty the drivers are
yeah. In your
in,
city,
in your city? I don't care. Why don't we talk about something
and
that's
that's not something
actually,
that we can address.
yeah, right? I was like, so I was like, oh, you should really, just focus more on actual things you can affect as opposed to,
External things.
yeah, and then he was like, oh, we were getting towards the end, and he's like, oh, I'd like to try and start exercising more, and but then he talked about how he had no time, he's busy, and then I was like, well, if you want to exercise, you got to make time, and he lost his shit when I said that. He was like, make time. He starts fucking screaming. He's like, make time. Fucking just losing it. Like,
Is this
how
over Skype or on the phone?
on the phone.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, like I'd say maybe about like 30% or so are video conference, but most people just call. Yeah, I would. Probably would have just hung up on him if it was a video call, but he's just getting me an ear beating about how dare I say you have to make time. And
Really?
then he's like, why don't you come and do my job? I'll come and do yours. I'm like, no, I don't want your miserable ass life. Like, what are you?
Oh, dude.
I was like, this is how fucked these people are.
Dude, I feel.
They'll make any excuse. They'll make
Oh,
any excuse to just not get their shit together.
dude, I feel like I'd be rough. I'd end up giving it back to him. You know?
Yeah, I
You can't do that.
it was fresh in the day, so I was like, whatever. Just move on to the next one.
Did you
You're
say, all right, thank you, I'll talk to you
Yep.
next week?
No, no. Thankfully, I don't have to talk to him again. But because I do them like every 6 weeks or so, and they can request you to meet again, but usually you just sign them up with someone else, whoever's available. So whatever. He has to deal with his shitty
That kind of
life.
makes it hard, though, to like check in with what they're doing and whatnot, right? Or do you...
Well, we take a bunch of notes on just what they're trying to work on. We do some data collection on different kinds of stuff. Then we
hmm
set SMART goals, like actionable goals, like
What's your
and then
hourly on that when you get paid? Or
it's
just,
like it's not great. It's like 18, 17, 18 hours, something like that.
but 30
So
minute sessions, right?
25,
So you get paid like $8, $9 or something like that.
yeah, and then it's just I fill in my schedule whenever I'm not doing anything. I just put it in like I'm available from this time to this time.
Yeah.
And like Mondays I'm not really busy with training, so I do basically like almost a full day, like 7.5 hours.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'll meet with like a fuckload of people. But then other days, Thursdays and Sundays. Thursdays I'm just busy. I don't have any time. Sundays I don't like to really work. But other days I'll just do maybe like 3 hour blocks, 2 hour blocks, whatever I have time for.
Yeah.
And I try and get between like 20, 25 hours for the week.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah, and it's just easy because you just you get like a half an hour before to like look up your people and write some notes down and get prepared for the day. Then you just go through, talk to people. It's not very hard, so it's like, and it just it's just experience with health coaching and just building the resume to potentially work into a better health coaching position in the future. Because this one's only really temporary. It's until August. It's temporary part time. They might. She said they might hire more permanent part time or full time people in the future, but who knows? So it's just kind of just something to build up the resume.
Yeah.
Said worked for Live Health Online, which is cool, I guess. So yeah, just doing that in the meantime. But oh yeah, so that was the one that was pretty interesting. And then just yesterday, this one was fucking insane, dude. So it shows the practice of what they're doing. It's just like general health coaching, or maybe healthy weight, or healthy blood pressure, or tobacco free. Like they're trying to quit smoking, So this was a guy who was a tobacco free, and he pops up on the screen. It's like a 6-year-old dude, no shirt, from Florida. Okay, and then he's kind of explaining, but it's kind of cutting in and out with the feed, and I can't quite hear some things he's saying. And then I'm like, oh, so how much he's smoking? And he's like, oh, that's the thing. I'm not really smoking, but I have an addiction. And I was like, okay. So then he talked about how he had like neck spine issues, and he got PRP injections a couple weeks ago, or whatever. And then because of the pain, he got addicted to oxycodone.
Oxycodone?
Yeah.
Oxycodone?
Yeah.
Oxycontin.
Oxycontin or oxycodone or one of those oxys, whatever the fuck it is, for pain,
Uh-huh.
And then he was like, yeah, I got hooked on those, and then recently I got into doing crystal meth. And I was like, he just admitted to me that he was doing crystal meth. I was like, homie, bro, this isn't what this is, bro. This is the back.
I would have asked him, like, oh, how is it?
I was so concerned. I was like, oh shit, this is not good. So then I like panicked. I was like, fuck, all right. And then I could tell like this was like obviously something extremely serious, because he looked very concerned. And yeah, so I was like, dude, you gotta reach out to your primary care physician.
And this one was like on video?
Yeah, this is a video one. Yep. And
what was your facial reaction?
I don't know. I probably looked a little shocked, but I tried to pull it together and be like professional.
Yeah.
Hopefully I didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think I did anything too egregious. He didn't point it out. But I just couldn't believe it. He just is like, in Florida, of course, too,
Yeah.
Crystal meth. But you hear about that all the time. I forget what that one documentary is, but they talked about all the pill mills down in Florida, like the pain management places, and how people would get hooked on legal prescription drugs, and then eventually that would lead them to being maybe doing illegal stuff because it was cheaper.
Street stuff.
Yeah, street stuff, because it was cheaper. Because maybe like their prescription ran out, and then they had to just buy them, or whatever the case may be, and they start taking shit like that. Now that was like the first time I've like actually seen it, like that kind of.
So you advise him to like contact his primary.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, either through them, or do some research on your own, and like look up NA, like Narcotics Anonymous or something, and they'll be able to help you better. But I was like, that's above my pay grade, dude. That's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah, if you said he got addicted to crystal meth.
I can't remember.
Or just socially.
Socially. No, I think he was like addicted to it. He'd been doing it for a minute, and he was a little concerned.
Well, props to him.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like,
good on you, man.
I don't know much about addiction, but I was like, I think the first step in recovery, like that 12-step program,
admitting
you have a problem. Yeah, and that's what I told him. I felt like pretty smart saying that. So I was like, even though I'm not like the guy to help you out with this, like the fact that you just admitted that to someone and you're taking that path is like, that's a good step, man.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to reassure him as much as I could. So hopefully he followed through on that. But yeah, dude, that was so wild. I could not believe that, dude. Just someone admitting that they do crystal meth is just so wild. But anyways, yeah, interesting job. what else? Dude, I don't know. I think that's just about it. Well, I guess the last thing, like personally, is once I graduate, I thinking about doing the CSCS. Think I'm gonna go through with that.
Yeah, it seems like the next step. I mean, I got my NASM coming up on expiring in 3 months, and I'll probably just let it expire. Whenever I get back into it, just get my CSCS.
That's probably the move.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't even need like personal training certification or anything for that.
No.
You just need your degree.
Yeah.
And then if you're CSCS, like who cares? You get an ASM or whatever.
Yeah. That one.
Yeah. That's good. That's a really good move.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of my, I think I brought it up last time, is one of my clients, she got shoulder surgery. She was going to this physical therapist over in Torrance. It's Beach City Orthopedics. And he's a really cool guy. He offered for me to come over to the facility and check it out. And so I went over like a few days ago, maybe a week ago, and I was just asking them questions and whatnot. I was seeing if they had like a referral system, for like post rehabilitation kind of stuff. And he was like, "Oh, not exactly." But then he kind of asked what I specialize in. I was like, "They get a lot of athletes over there because their main facility is in Manhattan Beach, where they do the surgeries, and they have a PT clinic there. But then they send a lot of the athletes over to this other location because they have turf outside. It's a very interesting gym kind of physical therapy office or whatever. Um, and so yeah, essentially I just told him, I was like, well, I guess golfers and triathletes. I was like, that's kind of like what I'm trying to get into. So anyone coming out of rehab with those two kind of sports in mind, I was like, if you have one of those, like for sure, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully that translates to something.
Nice.
But yeah, I was asking him because I was like, I'm thinking about doing like CSCS or TPI, and he was like, if you're gonna do those, he said he recommended to do the CSCS first, which is more general, obviously, and then from there, getting the golf certification. So yeah, we will see.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. Excited to be done with school.
Yeah.
I'm over that shit. Dude, what time we got? We're almost coming up on an hour. The only current event I really have is the test holiday thing. So you're not familiar with this, huh? So this is probably just about 2 weeks ago now. I actually made a YouTube video about this because it pissed me off, dude. She tweeted that she was diagnosed with anorexia and is now in recovery. And she also said kind of like something to the fact of like, oh, I've been abusing my body, and I'm finally ready to like take care of it or something like
Wait,
that.
is this the fat bitch who was saying like healthy at any size?
Yeah, I'll bring her out for you.
Bitch, you should get anorexia. Like
You should get it.
I would prescribe it to you. You know.
This lady.
Talking about?
This lady. She's really like her face is like very attractive, and she has great tattoos. I know you don't like tattoos, but she has like amazing tattoos. But she's just obviously morbidly obese.
Yeah.
And that's not hating on her. That's just it is what it is. Like like I don't need to know her height and her weight to diagnose her with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's definitely 40 and above on the BMI scale.
Yeah.
So what the thing is with that is that that's literally impossible, because for anorexia you have to be of abnormally low body weight. That's like by definition anorexia.
Did you look at the actual definition?
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
Or is it just like a mindset, or is it like an actual?
No, it's like
a medical diagnosis.
It's like it's not like a mental kind of thing or whatever. I know where you're going at with that. How do you spell anorexia? I don't know how to spell. Lack or loss of appetite for food, and I guess an emotional disorder characterized by obsessive desire to lose weight by refusing to eat. So, I mean, that's not exactly. Or here we go. It says abnormally low body weight. All right, or an obsession to lose weight and be thin, which is just obviously not the case, really.
No.
Like you don't have an obsession or desire to lose weight by refusing to eat because you're obviously very big, so you're eating too much, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just a problem because um she obviously has a massive following and like a bunch of people that will just follow her and just say yes queen to any bullshit she
Yeah.
says and just you know I'm sure she has a lot of young impressionable women that follow her who just are the social justice warrior type of like very liberal and just um inclusive
Yeah.
type of people that want to support people and that kind of thing.
Speak your truth types.
Sure,
Whatever your
and
personal.
there's really nothing wrong with that. But when you're just spouting wrong information, because say some young impressionable girl is reading that tweet from her and she's what she looks like, she's like, oh, that's anorexia. Well, no, that's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So say maybe you are someone that actually does have an obsession with losing weight and actually might have anorexia or is leaning in that direction and you think you have a problem, but then you're like, oh wait, no, I don't have anorexia. Tess Holiday has anorexia, and then
Yeah.
you go about your life, self-diagnosing yourself and not really understanding what's going on with your body. That's the big problem I have with it. Um, and and the thing is, she like anyone that calls her out on it is just saying how fucking stupid they are, this, that, and the other, and just like well, I don't even know what you say. Just essentially shouting them down, saying, "No, you're fucking like wrong. This is like my body. This is what I was diagnosed with." I was like, I'd love to know what fucking doctor diagnosed you with anorexia.
Yeah.
If anything, you have probably like a binge eating disorder or something. If you have an eating disorder,
Yeah, for real.
where you binge eat, but it's not bulimia because I'm almost positive bulimia is where you binge eat but then you purge,
Throw
right?
out, right? Yeah.
So that means you don't really digest the food and get the calories from it. But you obviously not obviously, but if you had any kind of eating disorder, it would be binge eating, not anorexia. It's the
Yeah.
exact opposite. Doesn't make any sense. Shit pisses me off.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of that in the world too.
Yeah, dude.
It's a problem with the internet. Any idiot can have a voice.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, she has a really big one too. You know?
Figuratively
Well,
or literally?
no, like figuratively. She's obviously is physically very big, but she has a giant social media following. So you reach a lot of people, much more than like your standard kind of expert in the field that would address this and get out the truth about what's going on.
Yeah.
Only a small fraction. And the type of people that follow Tess Holiday aren't gonna really seek out that kind of information.
I don't know.
Anyone that like watches that type of video calling out that bullshit, like Greg Doucette made a video. The crossover of Tess Holiday fans and Greg Doucette fans is probably a big zero. So that's that's a problem. But anyways, that's really honestly all I have in regards to current events. I just have not been keeping up. Um, I'm trying to think anything. Really, all my current events just come from Greg Doucette and just bless you. From his stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. Any good Jerry appearances lately? I'm trying to think. He's been having a lot of comedians on, so not really.
Yeah, I mean, you had Gordon Ryan. I listened to just a little bit of Lex Friedman.
We talked about Gordon Ryan last time.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Dude, ever since he's been on Spotify, dude, the show's just been like gone downhill for me.
You don't have Spotify, huh?
I do, but it's just I was always a YouTube clip type of guy.
YouTube clip? Well, they still have YouTube clips.
Yeah, but not as many as they used to.
I think it's like 15 total minutes from every episode.
Yeah.
Well, how much were they doing before?
Depending on the guest, how much good stuff it was.
Sure. Yeah, he hasn't really had any fitness-related people on. Because Ethan Souffle, we talked about him last time. But you don't really listen to even back in the YouTube days, you wouldn't really listen to like full podcasts all that much unless it was
No.
like someone you really liked.
Alex Jones. Yeah, you got to tune into those ones.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Dude, speaking of that, like you guys had an Eddie Bravo or like the Fight Companion people on in a long time.
Well, I think they're kind of spread out right now for the most part.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
geographically.
yeah, but I mean, like, if they really want to, they could get together. Like,
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
I hope they do a Fight Companion soon. I'm missing those.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of like Austin. I mean, Texas in general just sounds like a pretty cool place to go right now. But I'm seeing like Austin's kind of slowly becoming like a little bit shittier. People are saying.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like it's funny because some of the guests that come on Joe Rogan's podcast, they talk about how much like homeless people are there, and I was like, well, I was like, shit. And that's kind of one of the big reasons Joe left LA was the homeless problem.
Yeah.
You know, other obviously it was COVID regulations too, and stupid ass governor.
But they've been saying
taxes
it's been getting worse like recently.
Yeah,
and like because
I
Austin's
wonder why that is.
well, Austin's like the liberal city in Texas,
Mhm,
so like
mhm.
they probably have more like homeless friendly like laws.
Policies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of what their policies are on that.
I mean, it's getting. I mean, have you seen Venice?
No,
Oh, dude,
brutal.
fucking terrible.
Really?
Like there was a little video I was watching of like 1 year ago in
Well,
Venice.
it was cleaned up for a while, right?
I don't know. I was watching a year ago in Venice, and then I was watching like next to it. It was like the same day, but like this year.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, fucking terrible. Looks like
Well, I mean, it's
looks
tough.
like Skid Row on Venice Beach.
It's tough to compare it to last year because last year we were like middle of quarantine.
Okay,
So,
I meant maybe that might have been in quarantine, but there was still like beach life around, like
what
people
do you mean beach life?
like people like out like the Venice Beach, like the bodybuilding area and whatnot, like working
Mm-hmm.
out.
Mm-hmm.
People on the boardwalk, kind of like roller skating, and now it's just all like tents and homeless and just like
Yeah.
it's like a ghost town. Besides the zombies.
Yeah, I mean, LA supports that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
You know, you can just camp out and
Yeah.
I mean, Skid Row. I mean, I've watched multiple videos of people just driving down, like not even necessarily Skid Row in particular, but just downtown LA. They'll just drive down the street for a couple minutes and record, and just tent for minutes, all along the sidewalk. Like there's like literally no way you'd let anyone you cared about walk down there. Like
No.
That's super dangerous. Just where do you put all those people?
Yeah, that's fucked.
It's weird. We're getting a little off topic though, but yeah, Texas is cool. Maybe eventually go there one day. I still want to go to the Onnit gym.
You guys on?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'll be done in shortly.
Yeah,
I'll let you
in
know.
just a few minutes. Yeah, I want to still go to the Onnit gym. I'm sure they're open now. I should look into that since the semester's ending soon.
Yeah.
Go check that out. But anyways, yeah, I think that's it. Like, I don't know. Anything else to add?
I think that's all we got.
And I just remembered we were supposed to break down the UFC PI that came out. I just have not had any time.
Yeah, I gotta remember to go through it.
Yeah, so unfortunately we don't have it this week, but we will look into that. I'm gonna try and work ahead on my schoolwork and get that done prior to last day of school, and we'll be able to break that down and check that out. So I'm interested to see. And then, sorry about the camera. I probably should have addressed that at the top. Didn't bring an SD card. This guy doesn't have a single SD card in his whole house somehow.
I've had one, but I don't have it with me.
That's unfortunate. So, no video. I didn't feel like driving back to my house. So, it's just audio this time. Whatever. This has been the Performance Academy podcast with Zach Rowe
And Josh Rice.
and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Later.